It's week 6 of the NFL, and we'll see Miles Sanders. He was unstoppable a week ago with 4 touchdowns. It's the Panthers and the Dolphins, just ahead on EA Sports.
From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here, as it'll be the Panthers of Orlando taking on the Miami Dolphins. Hi everyone, Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, they're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Now Tua Tagovailoa gets set to lead this Dolphins offense for the first time.
Injuries overshadowed a great season from Tua last season. He led a Miami passing game that was one of the best in the league, and even more importantly, took them to the postseason for the first time in 6 years. That jump they were looking for from him, it absolutely occurred.
Now their 31-year-old running back, Raheem Mostert, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. But you look at this defense, they were terrific a week ago in the win over the Lions.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
Second down, here's Mostert again. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Well, this defense for the Panthers very strong in that victory a week ago.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball, or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright. And that might have been a situation where even though you don't hit on the deep throw, you at least put in the defenders' minds early in the game that we're going to press the ball deep against your secondary. And that can have a ripple effect on how they function throughout.
And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. So here are the Panthers set to take over for the first time. And Charles will get a look at the much-heralded rookie Bryce Young, the first overall pick from April's draft.
His game last week reminded me of the old song, accentuate the positive, because that's about all he did, right?
Yeah.
3 touchdown passes, over 300 yards in the air, receivers happy.
And they got the win.
Got the win. If you're a running back that likes to catch passes, they're happy as well. Big-time game.
On play action, Young. Left side here to Sanders. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. The end result, 21 yards.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball and let him do his thing, and they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
It's Young off play action. He's got his tight end. It's Tommy Tremble. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. It's another first down on what will be a gain of 21 yards.
Man coverage on the left side, so I really like the design of this play because they opened up the field and brought their tight end the other way on a crossing route. That's a lot of ground to cover if you're a defender. I've been there before, unable to stay with his man there.
They go play action. Young. Throw left side is complete on the diving effort. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Sanders is into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown. So that a great sequence for these guys to begin the ball game. They force the punt on one end, then come right down the field and score on the other.
And that's a great example of leaning on each other and building a little momentum that way. How about the defense forcing the punt, turns it over to the offense with confidence, and they take it downfield and score.
Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. And this will be good to give the Panthers a 7-0 lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it was Miles Sanders who finished it off with a touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. So Miami coming out for their second drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt, they're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Couple of Alabama guys there. 2 to Waddle for the Miami first. In motion, Hill. He'll get it here on the jet sweep. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. But you look at this defense. They were terrific a week ago with a win over the Lions.
Anytime you can hold a team to less than 10 points, your expectation of winning that game is sky high. In fact, you'd absolutely be stunned to come away with a loss.
Into space at the 45. And all the way up to the 45-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
21G.
3rd and 1, and Tua wants to throw it. And that will be incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early. But they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. This will be fielded at the 17. Breaks through the contact. There he goes, left side. Touchdown! Such an impressive punt return, 83 yards. And the Panthers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they hit the ball and kick it right to him.
Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Well, it's no secret. That's why they have him return punts. He has the capability to take them back, and he did so there. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. And off to A-Chain to begin the drive. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They go back to the ground, this time Mostert. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Tua to Tyreek for the Miami 1st.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
That's the 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. H.A. now up the middle. Gets past one man. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a 1st.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you off sides. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll set up to run the quarterback draw. Give him 4 yards there on the 1st down keeper. Looking to pass. Tua. They complete it to Hill. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. They'll run for it with A-Chain. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball and pick up the 1st down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. A Miami 1st down, that one going for a gain of 11.
1st and 10 at the 17-yard line.
Now Tua. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
Tua once again here on 2nd and 10. Over the middle and complete to Waddle. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make it.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked at the 31. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So this defense, they gave up some yards on this drive, but bottom line, they came up with a sack when it mattered.
And we know that every down counts, but let's be honest about it. People focus on third down as a real key down in any drive, any situation, and they took full advantage of third down there and made a play.
So fourth down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit. From the right hash, this from 48. Sanders' kick is good, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point a drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
This offense returns to the field, and the former Penn State star Miles Sanders, we're going to look at him. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
Off the play fake, Young. That's complete out right to the tight end, Trimble. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 24 yards the gain there. Another first down as well.
Come on, set. Next red.
They'll run with Sanders up the middle. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Here is Young. He'll find Thielen work in the middle. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Giovanni Ricci, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Panthers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And it's 21-3. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays, and a 9-yard run on the end of it. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. The Dolphins taking over now late in this first half. And Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here. But with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. But they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. Meanwhile, Tua's throw caught by his receiver, Hill. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Tua now on first down. Throwing for the out route, he finds Wilson. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. In need of only about the length of the football here on second down. From the gun, a run with Mostert. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Tua's throw here going to be caught by Wilson. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Tua going to throw. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. From the gun, it's Tua. Now throw right side here going to be incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
Well, pretty woeful there. Just 23 yards on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half.
Ready?
And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll get started over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. And that one finds the Falcons out in front. The Falcons trying to hold on and claim victory. From there, we move to H-Town to check on the Texans at home at NRG Stadium. And for the moment, they trail the visiting Saints in that one. The Saints' new quarterback for 2023, Derek Carr, with a touchdown pass. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And they trail the visiting Lions in that one. Marvin Jones, a touchdown reception. In that first half, we saw the veteran Miles Sanders doing his thing. He wound up finding the end zone on a touchdown run to help give his guys the advantage here at the break. Final preparations being made for the second half, both in terms of game plan and also hydration, because humidity is really going to catch up to these guys, no doubt. And for the call of the second half, we go back to Brandon Gaudin.
Now Raheem Blackshear going to take this one out. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. So here are the Panthers set to take over. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat in this ball game as well.
Ready. Check white. Ready.
Second half will start with a run by Sanders. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 75 yards receiving for him now. It's a first down. Young off the play fake. He's got Mingo. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They give him a gain of 37. That's evidence of why you spend a high draft pick on a receiver, isn't it, Charles?
It certainly is. His ability to make plays like that, and we've seen flashes of it from him so far in his rookie season. But also, it opens things up for the rest of the offense because they have to bring their attention to him as well.
So 3 plays, already first and goal, and they are wasting little time. Throwing, Young. He's got it for a Panther touchdown. Hayden Hurst, his 3rd touchdown now on on the year. And the Panthers take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw in that. Oh, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Dante Jackson picks it, and he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Panther touchdown. And, Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick 6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. Miami's offense set and ready to go. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Tagovailoa to throw on second down here.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
That's good for a Dolphins first down.
Time on three, 10.
At the 43-yard line.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. Shreds him with a stiff arm. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Going to the air. Tagovailoa. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Yetur Gross-Matos make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. I think a lot of time when we see a sack, you say, well, you blame it on the offensive line, the quarterback, but here, maybe you just tip your hat to the defender. What a play.
Yeah, and I think sometimes they just get a sense of the play before the ball's even snapped. Kind of like a sprinter anticipating the gun in a race. They're off, and guess what? The quarterback's down.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. 3rd and 7 now. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Yetur Gross-Matos able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He gets this away as he'll wisely, I'd say, angle this to the sideline. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Now Young. It got his man complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Miami. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. It's Young off play action. That is caught past the 20 and all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That goes as a gain of 36 on 3rd down.
And even with the game seemingly in hand, they're continuing to fire away, pressing the ball down the field. Listen, it's worked all day. No reason to go away from it now.
Up the middle they go with Sanders. And here he'll get it down to the 7.
Holding offense. This is unbelievable.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after him.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. Jonathan Mingo from 19 yards away. And the Panthers add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the drive there took 6 plays. And the end result, a Panthers touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season. But in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. That's going to be caught by Waddle. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
At the 31-yard line.
Here's Tua.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
For as many sacks as this defense has, you can understand their willingness to try and get upfield and get another. So what a really smart play call here to use their aggression against them, go with the screen, and they're able to get the first down.
They'll let this go deep for Waddle. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Tua wants to throw it on 2nd down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 10. And again, it's Tagovailoa. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning.
Come on, set. Ready.
They start on the ground here at Sanders. And he'll be taken down after a short gain as that takes us to the 2-minute warning.
Guys, ready to get it on right now? Yeah, let's go. It's showtime, baby. Here we go, set. Ready?
2nd down, back to Sanders. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And he's going to be a yard short. A 2-yard pickup leads to 4th and 1.
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the first down.
And now it appears that the referee's been buzzed, and we'll get a review. And this being inside 2 minutes of play, everything coming from up above. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So the officials and the folks in New York got a second look at this one, and the call is going to be overturned.
43 rail. Ready.
Young here to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Young into the slide, and he's got a first down. Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards.
As we both know, there's a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
On the double. Double, 38.
They go play action. Young. He completes this one to Mingo. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the fourth quarter.
Ready.
And they'll indeed take a knee. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Orlando, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, the losses are piling up as they drop to 1-5 now. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and click the like button. And if you've not already, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon.